This show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, experienced real estate agent serving Disney and the greater Orlando area of celebratingflorida.com. Have you ever dreamed of living where the magic happens? Victor Naraki has made that dream come true for himself and others. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Orlando area, here's why Victor is the realtor you'll want in your corner. Victor knows the Disney area like the back of his house. By creating a free, no-obligation account on his website, celebratingflorida.com, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Is it time to follow your dream? Victor is looking forward to helping you discover the real estate opportunities that are right for you in this beautiful and fun-filled part of Florida. Visit celebratingflorida.com today or view Victor's view at victorsvista.com and let Victor know the Solo Show sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call and the doors will be closing soon. Please board quickly and safely. Please stand clear of the doors. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Solo Studios here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America and the birthplace of Fozzie Bear's Waka Waka Chinese food shack on this little planet we call Earth. This is the Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan welcomes Timmy D to the guest host's chair. This time they're talking about the evolution of the park's attractions, the new features they love, and the stuff they miss, and what's coming in the future. You want to stick around for this one because Stan's going to share his recipe for Fozzie's sweet and sour rubber chicken. I've got to stop doing these intros right before supper time. So now, please welcome your host, the guy who taught Miss Piggy to sing, but don't hold it against him. Here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and I got a guest today. I've been on this show a couple of times. I don't know what this show's about really, but I've been on it. It's a great show. Tim, oh my God. Ken, you said no more people with weird names. What is this?
Rothschild.
E-period? How do you say your last name?
Ibidid. I know before we started taping, I thought you said EpiPen, and I'm just like, EpiPen. It's interesting you should ask because my name is Tim letter E period D. If you're my friend, you already know that.
Got it. Okay, so I'm looking at your Facebook, and it's Tim E period, but you wrote out period instead of having a period, and then
yes, exactly.
So it's Timmy D.
Yeah, pretty exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, well that's not so bad. Okay, Ken, you're forgiven. He can he can be on the show.
Yeah, just tell him that at least the first couple letters of the first name is the easiest part. So I tried to keep that part simple.
I could get the Tim part. That I had no problem with.
Yeah. I don't meet a lot of Tims nowadays, so I kind of just feel like I'm special in some regards. But Stan also, that's cool.
There aren't too many Stans around.
Yeah, I know. So we need to bring all this back again. Because you think about it, because your name obviously has some tie-ins with Disney, and then my name has some tie-ins with Disney, so it's pretty magical.
Exactly. What tie-ins do I have with?
Well, you got that's true. What is Stan? Okay, so then I was thinking of the solo part. Maybe Stan and Laurel Hardy, but that'd be more universal in the silent era.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you living now? Tell where you grew up and stuff like that.
Well, I'm from Atlanta, and we are pretty much like split our time in the Southeast. That's primarily what I tell everyone because I'm all over the place. So that's the best way to probably find us, I would say.
And where are you now?
Well, right this very second at my house.
Okay, can you narrow it? Can you broaden it out a little bit? What state are you in?
I'm bad at the hemispheres part because am I in the southern hemisphere? Tristan just popped in, so
I don't know.
Let's just say Florida. That'll work.
Okay, let's narrow it down to Florida.
That's primarily what our page is about.
Are you seriously? You're in Florida right now?
Yeah, why not? With the magic of chroma key and.
This is gonna be fun. Okay, so how often do you go to Disney World?
Not enough, you would think, to be in Florida, right? But
yeah,
I would say several times a year, preferably.
Okay. You're an annual pass holder, I'm taking it.
Yes, that's correct. Although, so that was supposed to have expired, I think, in December, but because of the pandemic, little by little, they kept stretching it further out. And so now it doesn't expire till the end of May. So I was like, so I don't know, I feel like I'm rolling the dice. So now I just need to win some money from the lotto, and then, maybe I can pop in again.
Well, May is a better time to renew than December because you have a lot of bills in December.
That's true.
So if I had a choice, I'd pick May over December to renew.
Well, see, that's the question I wanted to ask you, because I know you've been on my show before. And as earlier stated, you're like, what the heck am I even appearing on? But you do a fantastic job. So I wanted to ask you how often, and I didn't get to ask you on my show, so how often do you get to go down to Disney since you're in, Canada?
Well, since pandemic and the border closed, none.
True.
I have a countdown calendar on my wall, and I change it every day, and I think it's currently 986 days away because I just picked a number.
Oh gosh. Yeah, well, I guess I should have rephrased. So before the pandemic,
I used to go once a year, and then I started going more, became an annual pass member, and I started going 3 times a year. And I did that for a couple of years. My daughter went to college for 2 years. I had to take a 2-year break. So I wasn't going as a kid. I only started going as an adult. So this is only, I guess it's not new to me. I've been going for quite a few years. My kids getting married now, and I took them when they were younger. But
that is so cool.
I really want to go back. I'm dying to go.
So your first time you went to Disney was as an adult, but it was taking your younger children, right? Or child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were teenagers. One didn't go. I went with her though.
Because I went when I was like around 7 or 8, but then it was kind of cool because then as my son Tristan, I got to take him, and everything he got to accomplish at Disney was younger than what I got to actually do when I was doing it. Because he went, I think, at 6, and I went at like 7 or 8. But it's kind of cool because then you're still enjoying going, but then you see it through his eyes, through the child's eyes, and kind of like you come back and bring it with family or maybe someone that hasn't been to the park before. So it kind of starts it all over again, and you get to see their excitement and just the newness, especially too, when you round the corner and you see, the castle, Cinderella Castle on Main Street for the first time is an amazing, scene to behold.
Yeah, to see that through your child's eye, cool. I mean, I was too busy crying myself when I saw it the first time to care what my daughter was doing.
Oh, I understand. I know. There's so many times where I'm like, and I even do this now. I'll be like, I'll tell Tristan, I said, it doesn't feel real. I mean, look at it. I'm like, I guess you see it on TV so much. You've seen it like specials, and you just stop and think, I'm like, is this real? Am I really there? And you just have to pinch yourself almost.
Yeah. When I go next time, that's how it's going. Because after I took that 2-year break, paying for my daughter's college, it was a huge event going back. When you go 3 times a year, it kind of becomes commonplace. Not that it's a bad thing, but you don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's true. I mean, some of it does wear off a little. All I could think of is how expensive 3 times is. Because, we were doing 1 a year, and that was a little more manageable than 2. And then I noticed once, you get the annual pass, you pop in a lot more. And because obviously the ticket part is at least okay, but sometimes the transportation and the resort stay is what can eat up the cost more than just if you just went to the park itself.
Especially flying from Canada.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And using Canadian dollars versus American dollars to spend for it, that's up really quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love your hat, by the way. You got the Pixar hat.
I got the Pixar hat on.
Very cool. Very cool.
Not that anybody can see us.
That's true. That's why I had to make sure I told people because I didn't want to just say hat.
yeah. Well, you got that Cool Rogers Rabbit shirt on. I want that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I mentioned on my show that I had 2, and one was because I got a stain on the first one, and then lo and behold, I think I stained the second one. So over the past couple of weeks, we've had some issues with me and needing a bib for my shirt.
Are they matching stains, or are they different stains on this?
But you will not believe this, Stan. They, matter of fact, are matching stains, and here's why. Because the first time I got it a year ago, after our show on Easter, I wore this only on Easter because, being a rabbit. And I ate this big, humongous pizza on the drive home, and then I spilt it on my shirt. So then the very next, which was literally a couple of weeks ago, I did the exact same thing again. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? But this pizza is so good, though. It's New York pizza. I don't know if y'all import that. I don't know if you import pizza to Canada.
That's crazy. So you've been going for a long time. So you're the perfect guy to have on for this topic. I thought we'd talk about the changes at Disney World over the years.
Interesting. I like it.
So I gave you some homework, and I asked you to make a list. How many? I have been going nearly as long as you, so there hasn't been as many changes for myself as there is for you. How many on your list?
Well, obviously there's probably some that I'm not thinking of, but there was like several that pop in my head, right off. And it depends too how strict we want to be with it, because here's one that you could throw in. You could say the People Mover, and then it changes with the name, or it changes because of a coat of paint. But is that really considered a change? So, I don't know. I'm going to say like 4, maybe less than 10.
Okay, I only have 20. So good job on your homework there, Tim.
Thank you. Well, mine was, I crash coursed it. I literally did this like, I don't know, maybe right before airtime. Hey, mine's in multiples of 2 though.
Oh, okay. And I think I said things that are for the better. The changes.
Can I abridge my list?
but you know what? It was kind of hard for me to come up with that list for things that are better. Because there are some things that they're different that I have on my list. They're not really, I would say, better.
Well, the problem though, with like a lot of times on my show, I try to embrace newness and change. And to some degree, some of that is kind of cool. But my list is going to be smaller if it's involving something that changed, but then made it for the better. Because right off the bat, the first one I'm thinking of would be like Universe of Energy. Now, to some, like someone maybe like Tristan, my son, who wants to do more of the higher adventure type rides, maybe like that could be a cool thing. But for me, I still want the old school Universe of Energy. Oh, what's Tristan? Tristan, come over here for a second. Tristan actually just popped in. He said no.
Let's hear Tristan.
What's your thought on this?
So I like Guardians of the Galaxy a lot. It's probably my favorite Marvel movie. But in my opinion, I feel like I'd rather have Universe of Energy because I like dark rides more than real rides.
See, I taught him well. I taught him to love the old school stuff.
That's good parenting there for sure.
Yes.
I have to agree. Because I can't do anything that flips, turns, goes upside down, or goes fast.
Yeah. I'm not either. I know. That's why I love the old school Epcot, because everything was kind of slow, but it held your interest and it was intriguing, and there was a lot of it. And I kind of get over the years, you got to change a little bit to keep up with more of the thrill rides. Like, you got to add a test track, or you got to add, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'm just also afraid that they're starting to get away from more of some of that old school stuff too that they had, like your Land or, Journey into Imagination, that type of attraction.
Yeah, no, I agree. Are you more of a non-IP or an IP type of person? Because we're seeing more and more IPs in the parks all the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so here's the thing though. What would be your definition to some degree? Because like, would a Figment eventually be considered an IP? Or are you basically saying it's something that's been acquired that then once they did it, they put it in the park? Because Figment, was completely for Epcot, but then became useful in other aspects. So I'm not really a big fan of having an attraction slapping, we just acquired Marvel, so let's put it in kind of thing.
Yeah. Unless it's Star Wars or Muppets, then it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of it, but again, not at the sacrifice of taking some of your originality away, which unfortunately, little by little, seems to be happening at Epcot, and that's the one that I think of the most.
I think of all the parks, Epcot's the one that kind of frustrates me with IP entering more so than, and even like if they were to say they take away Carousel of Progress and they put in pick your Marvel thing and put it in.
Oh, Tristan, what was it?
I don't think I'd be happy with that.
If Carousel ever went away, what did you say would probably be?
WandaVision.
Well, okay, so it would fit. I don't want it, but he said if they had to get rid of Carousel of Progress, they could keep the same theme and make WandaVision. I was like, over the decades. I kind of get that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard people mention that. And you know what? As much as I love Carousel of Progress, I might be cool with that.
I wish there was a way they could do kind of like an overlay where they could do it briefly or change it, but not like permanently, just something unique and different, maybe during, Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I agree. What about like Frozen taking over Maelstrom?
Oh, it pains my heart. Because see, Maelstrom was my favorite ride at in the countries. So I love that, and that's exactly right. Like you're getting more away from the dynamic of what the country is, as opposed to, hey, let's put Frozen here. Although I'm going to do a reverse order for you. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been complaining so much about not wanting to change for the future, but I'm going to ask you this as well too. If they're already doing this now, do you think they should go ahead and keep in Mexico the Three Caballeros, or go ahead and let's jump that course and go ahead and throw in Coco? We're already almost there in the queue.
Yeah, I know. I always think about that, and in my opinion is for something like that, I'm going to trust Disney.
Yeah.
Put Coco, get rid of the Three Caballeros and put Coco in. I mean, you're switching an IP for an IP.
Right.
I don't think that would bother me quite as much as Maelstrom switching to Frozen did or does.
I 100% agree with you. That's my thinking as well, too, because you already got something. Because, the Rio del Tempo, which was more of the typical Maelstrom attraction and where it was more about the country itself than just, having a character in there. And then once they did the Three Caballeros, my thinking was, well, when did that film come out? Like in the 40s, I think. So, and I like it, don't get me wrong, but I mean, why are we going to go all the way back, to the 40s when Coco, if they're already going to do Frozen, why not? And they're doing Ratatouille in France. So it makes, to me, perfect sense. Let's go ahead and go for it.
Yeah. The Ratatouille thing does not bother me at all.
Yeah.
Being an IP going into the park, because it's not replacing something.
I can get that.
One of the changes that I never got to experience, and I don't know if it's better now or if it's worse now. I mean, I think it's better in the sense that you get the air conditioning all the way down. But on Main Street, it used to be separate shops at one point. Were you around for that? Do you remember that?
I'm trying to vaguely remember. Do you remember being in the separate shops? Oh, Tristan! Hey, Stan! Late breaking news. Well, so I'm watching the Weather Channel, and Tristan says he points to something and says tooth, and I'm just like, we'll deal with this later. I'm in the middle of an interview, and then I look over at Tristan, and he's like, so Tristan, come here and tell everyone what just happened. This is earth shattering. Well, it's just audio, but Stan will be able to see. Tell everyone what it is.
He lost his tooth.
Yeah, I lost a tooth.
Wow. Man, and he's only 13, so I'm hoping that's not an adult tooth. I'm assuming
that might be an adult tooth.
No, well, when last time he went to the dentist, it said that there's. Yeah, he hasn't lost. So apparently the tooth fairy is going to be, I guess, having to put in overtime.
Holy crap!
Wow. So if you see any necklaces at the pawn shop, it's probably made from the tooth fairy and his tooth. So I had to tell you that because that why, Tristan, why couldn't you have saved that for Sunday at 3? It could have been our show.
Was I supposed to keep the tooth?
Put it back in.
I got duct tape.
Get some gum or something.
Well, Stan, if it couldn't be on my show, I'm happy that this breaking moment got to happen on your show.
That's awesome. It's always a riot when Tim's around.
Well, you're awesome. You're a great guest always when we have you on the show.
Okay, so the Main Street shops used to be separate shops. Now it's basically one big huge emporium. I love I never got to experience going into the different shops. I kind of think that would be kind of cool. But I really like being able to walk down Main Street in August and not worry about the heat so much because I can go through the shop.
Yes. Well, I agree with you. Like, I like
better.
To me, I like the separate shops more. And I actually remember when they had the magic shop there. I think that was really near the beginning of my, going, I guess, seeing that. And then eventually they kind of got rid of it. And I know at one point, I think they had one at Disneyland. If I remember correctly, Steve Martin actually worked there at the magic shop at Disneyland. Now, yes. I have never been to Disneyland, so I don't know, one, if that's still there or not.
Yeah. So what do you have on your list there?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to see on my show, I usually take a quick break. So I'm going to bring Tristan back to talk to you about one of my things for 1 second. Tristan, by the way, is my co-host on the show, and you already know that. But for those that may be listening to you, Tristan, what are you doing with your tooth? On the counter. Oh, he's already put it on his pillow. That's why. So, hey, I'm going to put this right here. Tristan, you hold the fort for 1 second and talk to Stan. You're on the air. Okay. And if you're able to, if you don't have a different kind of conversation because of your tooth.
Okay.
But talk about some of why don't you handle the question of a park that's changed the most, or you think something that could go for the better?
Okay. So I guess the question he just said, I guess.
Yes. Okay. So is there something in the park that has changed since you've been going that you think has changed for the better?
I'm trying to think because I feel like, I haven't gotten to ride Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway yet, so I can't really say on that one.
Okay.
But I think I'd probably say, I guess, the backlot tour because I liked it, but I feel like for me, I just enjoy Galaxy's Edge more than the backlot tour and Lights Motor Action. So I guess it's just a personal opinion, but that's what I personally would prefer over the two.
I agree with you completely. I think I love the backlot tour. I love Lights Motor Action, and Streets of America was kind of like whatever. It's kind of sad that they don't have the Osborne Spectacle of Dancing, but Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, one other thing I think went away for the better was the old Toy Story Land and then now the new Toy Story Land, because it used to be like a little Pixar little street, I guess, and then they transformed that into sort of the new Incredibles area. So I will say I wish they would sort of make an Incredibles attraction there because they still have that Well, the same show building might actually be where Toy Story Mania is now, because I thought they would have moved it. So, but I feel like they could probably still make some sort of incredible something other than just the meet and greet.
Well, they could do something down that street and make that like an attraction area. Like instead of having a street there, put a building.
Exactly.
Those are good choices, Tristan. I'm back. This is just like my show. I literally, because I have songs, I can go to the restroom. I didn't know if you could hum a song, but I figured I'll just put Tristan in. Thank goodness he's back.
I wanted to talk to you about your show. So I've been on your show a couple of times. Honestly, I don't know what I'm on when I'm on there. I phone in on the telephone.
We still have those nowadays.
I know. And by the way, I got free long distance to the US. So, it doesn't cost me anything. So you don't have to worry.
Oh, good. Yeah, because last time we put you on hold for a little while.
It's not free. I mean, I pay for it, but it's unlimited calling Canada.
That's good. That's good.
So what is it's a radio show, and it's on the FM dial, the AM dial what is it?
Yes, that's on the FM dial. But the nice thing is, since obviously your listeners are literally all over the world, we're going to focus primarily on that. So therefore on the TuneIn app, all they have to do on their phone is download the TuneIn app and type in OAK 93.5, or they can do oak935.org, or we just invite people on Sundays to check out our Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/WDW Magic Florida, all together there. And then they can watch us live, hang out. That way, when we're in the songs or whatever we're in, then they can be hanging out with us while we take a break or whatever, and interact with them that way.
Yeah, because they're like, I've been in the chat and have commented. It's like basically like a Facebook Live show at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is kind of unique because it's like we started first with the radio, and then we had fans really just say, "Hey, why don't you do a Facebook Live?" And I thought, I don't know, I'm going to wait until I lose a little weight. And I kept waiting, and I never lost the weight. And finally I said, if I begin when I lose weight, I could be like, 60 by then. So I better go ahead and do things sooner. And so I just jumped in on it and said, well, once I got over that part and realized I don't care what I look like, I'm just going to go and have fun. And then from there, we've been doing it for years now.
So you play music when you're chatting with the people in the chat, that's when music is playing?
We usually we only have a song typically at the end of the show, and when I drink too much soda, which is like halfway through our 1 hour show, and that would be like 20-30 minutes into the show, and we'll throw a song in. I'll go to the restroom. Tristan does a segment called Plush on Parade, where whatever segment we have or theme for that episode, he'll bring in a stuffed animal because my wallet is a little emptier to buy those over the years. So he can show you quite the collection that
or a Funko Pop of some sort or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, he loved that because he, I remember I walked in when he had asked you what ones you had just bought, so he thought that was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Because what type of music do you play? Is it a Disney show or is it something else?
Our show is an hour show, and it's a Disney. We call it a theme park radio show, but we primarily focus on Walt Disney World.
Okay.
But we will touch on here and there Universal, and then the songs are, we try to line it up again with the theming. So if we're going to do Animal Kingdom, we try to have songs that are going to fit something from that park or something that would be maybe an attraction. Same with Epcot. We have some of the old school songs and maybe something new like Spaceship Earth, maybe Disney Springs intro loop, or not intro loop, but like the area when you're walking around kind of listening to that type of loop. I love the loops the best because it gives me, like, I don't have to stress as bad about going to the restroom, because there's some songs I've literally put in from the 80s that will be like veggie, veggie, fruit, fruit, and it'll be like a minute 42. And I'm like, there's no way I can get back fast enough. So if I put in like a Spaceship Earth 10-minute by Bruce Broughton, then I'm good to go.
That's cool, because when I watched you on, I watch you on Facebook Live, I don't get to hear the songs. I don't know if you're playing exactly. Another change I thought about that has happened since I've been going, and at first I did not like the removal of the sorcerer hat.
Yeah. Ooh.
Studios.
Oh, see, I thought you were gonna say the water tower. See, I jumped the gun.
The water
there.
Tower is frustrating.
Yeah, but wasn't that? See, I want to go back through enough. And obviously, I think that whole area is Star Wars land, but I'd love to actually see where the water tower was in relation to where Star Wars land was, because I wish they still could have had the water tower. Well, see, we talked about one time on our show, I asked the audience, I said, would you keep the sorcerer hat if you could? but just maybe move it. And I'm kind of for maybe moving it, but
Yep.
but are you still on board with having it block the Chinese theater?
No. I when I first heard it was just being dismantled, I wasn't upset. Like I was going to go chain myself to it. But that's kind of sad, you know. And,
Yeah.
and that's where that was a pin shop. There's nowhere else in Disney World to buy pins.
Yeah.
It's pin shop.
I know, right?
But now that I have seen it without the hat, it's better. You walk in.
Yeah, I like like as soon as you go past the crossroads of the world and you see it now that they've added the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, like I don't mind the hat being gone as much.
Yeah.
What I hate for Tristan though is we never actually got to go inside it, the hat. We were near it and I knew there was like some type of shop there, and I said, and this is where I started learning my valuable lesson, because we didn't get to go to Disney World that often. I mean, more than some and maybe, less than others.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, oh, don't worry. Next time we come back, that's when we'll do it. And I can't tell you how many times I've said that. And then when I get back, it's gone. So for now, if there's ever anything I really have my heart set on, I'm like, let's just do it now before I don't get to do it again.
Exactly how I am with the Osborne lights.
Mm-hmm.
Every Christmas, I'm like, well, I can't really go on Christmas. I'm too busy at work and I can't take November or December off, and it's like, looking back at it, yeah, I could have taken one.
I never got to see them either. I have some of our fans that'll be like, always reference the Osborne Christmas, and I'm just like, thanks. It's like the one thing I wish I could have done.
That's the one thing. That's my number one thing I wish I could have seen to see and won't now.
I can agree with that one. The other one that I wanted to see, and I was so close, but twice because of a lightning storm got canceled, but I wanted to see Lights Motor Action. And we literally were sitting there, but of course on metal bleachers and the Florida lightning storm. So they paused. We went in under shelter and hid for a little while, came back. Literally, they started the countdown for us to start. And then another storm popped up, canceled. And then the time I went back, the next time it was gone because of Star Wars. And I was like, no.
Yeah, that was a great show. That one I do. But
I would have loved to have
Star
seen
Wars
that.
is better, but it's kind of sad that that's gone, as well as the tram tour.
Oh, I love that. And I know, and seeing the Golden Girls house, that's what I kind of hate. It's like, I hate that it seems, I mean, there's not too many other things probably that you can think of entertainment wise that you have to get rid of one to start a new to enjoy that one. I always just wish there was a way we could have a little bit of both, sometimes. Why do we got to chop this other thing down to be able to build? I know there's only so much space and money, but in a perfect world, I wish we could have kept a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that the whole idea of Disney World, is that we have an unlimited supply of land. We can build as much as we want.
That's what I keep hearing. So I'd like to know. Now, that's a great question. Maybe your listeners know, or you or something. But I'd love to know how much more they actually have left.
Well, they got a ton, but they dedicated so much of it to green space.
That's what I was thinking. Between that and I heard that they already have the solar panels, but I think they may be adding some more, or at least saying, I heard somewhere that it could be powering like 40% of the theme park or something like that with solar paneling. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all of Animal Kingdom, isn't all of Animal Kingdom powered by solar panel now?
I'm not sure. I just think it's so cool when you round that corner, I think off of World Drive, and you see all the solar paneling, and then you can do the Google Earth thing and see it shaped in a Mickey, which you can't usually see too well on the ground, but I think that's cool.
No, that's awesome. What else did you have on your list?
Me? Oh, yes. Me on my list. That is right. Well, I want to ask you like some thoughts in regards to merchandising. And that is, I guess, we were talking about the Emporium. And, well, all right, first, before I go into the merchandise, I want to ask you, what is out of all the different main gift shops, what's your favorite gift shop at Walt Disney World?
It's a toss-up between the Emporium on Main Street and World of Disney at Disney Springs. Now, World of Disney seems like the last time I went, there's less stuff. It's more open, I felt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's just because they have less items, like the same amount of items, but fewer of them. Because they had some they would have like 500 pepper shakers. Well, they don't need 500 pepper shakers. You can have 5 there, and that'd be enough for the day probably. They can restock.
Right.
So
I get that. I kind of wonder if that's part of their design, because I like, we talked about this recently, and Tristan said he liked the old way of the way World of Disney like, and I kind of like a little bit of both. I can understand they wanted to tweak it some and not leave it the way it was, but I think this version of it is almost too much. And I don't know if that was the episode you were on or not for my show, but we kind of talked about how I'm worried that with the resorts and a lot of the gift shops that they're starting to become a little more homogenized, and it's losing some of the character feel. because World of Disney had a lot of really cool like things to look at, and I don't just mean the merchandise. I mean the ceiling and things in the middle, and now it's more chic and it kind of fits more with the Disney Springs, but to me, it's lost some of that character as well too.
Yeah, they do have some of those like those interactive lights and that on the floor and different projections. Those are kind of cool.
Right, I do like that. I think that's cool.
I do miss it. I miss Mouse Gears. The concept art for Mouse Gears does not thrill me at all.
And that's the new one. That what is it? Celebration
or
something?
Name of it to
Creation.
Creation. Yeah. That. What do you think of that?
I like the name just because it kind of fits like just with, it makes me think of the parking when you pull up to Epcot, they have the different names for their parking spaces. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't, I was a little disappointed because I remember Mouse Gears so much, but I also remember the Centurium when I was going, and they had the 2 levels of a gift shop, which was amazing. So, and then I remember that reading the artwork, it was going to be like, we're going to do something. It's going to have Mickey featured. And I almost feel like to me, that's that Trump card. There's like, look, once I put that card out there, you can't say nothing. Because it's like, who's going to argue with Mickey? How dare you argue with Mickey? So but again, Centurium felt more old school, and Mouse Gears was kind of that, to me, even though they had the Disney characters in there, still kind of felt more old school. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the concept art yet. I missed the name. But it's a wait and see. We'll see what they do and how it unfolds. I just hope it doesn't look just like World of Disney. And it's not that I hate World of Disney, but I don't want every gift shop to start looking like each other. You walk into the Emporium and it feels like the Main Street theme, and I like that.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. You talk about the resorts and merchandising. At one point, you could really get a lot of different specific merchandise for the resort. Like if you're staying at I'm gonna say Dixie Landings, but at Riverside, they had Riverside merchandise, they had Pops in. And then they went away from that. They went away from it completely. It wasn't even Walt Disney World merchandise, it was Disney Parks merchandise. It was the same merchandise at Land and World. They're coming back around again now. I'm finding that the pendulum is swinging back, and we're starting to see more merchandise where it's specific for Pop Century or for the different resorts, which is kind of cool.
I like that. That's always kind of annoyed me too, like when they would just be like Disney Park, kind of like the umbrella. Don't get me started with the umbrella, because I love the umbrella, and I was like, yay, I'm gonna go. If I'm gonna pay all this money, I'm gonna use it, and it's also a souvenir. And then I open it up and it's like Disney Parks, Tokyo, and Disneyland, and I'm like, but I want Disney World. Like maybe if I go to Tokyo and it rains there, I'll buy some there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect example.
It always seems like a cop out. Like, well, we'll just stamp it with Disney everything, and then you'll just like it because, well, hey, your park's included. I'm like, no, I want, like you said, I want it to be more authentic to just that park per se.
Yeah, and even for the resorts, like I love it that they have the collectible cups. Each resort used to have the collectible cups, and they got away from that. And now they're back, like they have that upgrade metal cup for an extra $10.
Yes,
refillable mugs. So the ones that are on the monorail loop, the Skyliner loop, have the Skyliner cups.
Oh, interesting. See, I didn't know that. I do know that you can
I'm
do
holding
the upgrade, and we always get the resort mugs. Again, calling back about my soda addiction. But every time I always buy it, I always think, why didn't I buy the upgrade? Because I thought, isn't there something extra you get with it, or is it just that it was a cooler, like more, practical cup?
The people can't see, but I'm holding up my Star Wars upgrade cup.
Oh, nice. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so this is an extra $10. And if you watch the live show, I always drink this on the live show, on the Grand Circle Tour. So this is an extra $10. So this is what every resort has. Now, the resorts that are on the Skyliner, they have a Skyliner cup. And only those resorts have it, the Skyliner one, which my wife got that one. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so and by the way, I think she celebrated a birthday recently, if I'm not mistaken. So happy birthday to her.
I'll have to tell her you're the second person today to say belated birthday.
I think I might be even the most belatedest, but I love it.
She had one today. She had one. She was shopping today, and one of the cashiers or the grocery carrier said, "Hey, happy birthday to you." She says, "How do you know?" She goes, "Oh, I know Stan."
Oh, that's awesome. That's epic. And I'd always like to know, where's that point of no return where, like, obviously I'm still within a week or two, I think, but where's that point of no return where you should just like not talk anymore about it and wait till just next year?
Well, you could have like the it's my 42nd and a half birthday.
Yes, you're covered either way. I love that.
At what point you stop saying your half birthday?
I went to Wilderness Lodge, bought this really cool cup, because that was the first hotel we had stayed at. on one of our trips. And I was like, all right, I'm buying the resort mug. So then I get back to, and it was kind of like Snow White, which fits in with the Artist Point dinner thing that you can do there, the little meet and greet. So then we went to Art of Animation a couple days after that. I took the same cup because once you activate it, you're supposed to be good to go. And it wouldn't read. And I went to the cashier and she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, but it's a resort mug. So I'm like, how does this not work? So I would love to see more like specific theme to the resorts, like, okay, Art of Animation cup. But also for people like me that resort hop a lot, still, you know, it's active. You paid $21 or whatever it was. Yeah. It still should count for my whole week stay.
It's supposed to work for at every resort. Yeah,
and see, and I don't usually argue. I don't try to fuss a lot, but that was one that I did second question, and I wish I kind of pushed it a little. I think, well, I did push it a little bit, but she's like, well, here, just take a cup and you can go do it. But she didn't give me another resort mug. She gave me like just one of those, you know, paper cups that I could dump in my cup. And I wasn't trying to get anyone upset or mad, but I just kind of wanted to understand the reasoning, because I'm like, everywhere else I've resort hopped has been fine. So I didn't kind of get the reasoning on that.
Yeah. Technology at its finest.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it makes it better. Sometimes it makes it worse.
Yeah. What about Pirate Red?
Oh, hey, speaking of that, Tristan wants that Funko Pop. He keeps talking about that. He's like, I should have bought it when I had the chance. I'm like, I know.
When it comes to Funko Pops, buy them when you see them. When they
yes. I have come to learn that. That is 100% correct.
I got a number of Funko Pops. I learned that the hard way. If you want to get them.
So what's like your biggest one that you have? Maybe not size. Well, it could be size, like, you know, because the reason why I asked that is because Tristan keeps wanting the Jungle Cruise one that I think's around $30.
I got the Jungle Cruise.
Nice.
It was $50 Canadian at 55. My wife isn't listening. But it was at the Disney store, and it was the last one on the shelf.
That's awesome.
So I bought it, and I went back like a week later and had another last one on the shelf. I don't know if somebody returned one or if they just keep them in the back when someone buys one, they put another one out.
Right. Kind of like only one left.
There's a new one coming out where I think that one has a skipper riding the Jungle Cruise, right? Or is it Mickey?
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure.
There's whatever it is. I think it's Mickey riding the Jungle Cruise, and then the new one coming out is going to be a skipper riding the Jungle Boat.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. I like that. I'll have to check that out. I know I like it, and I like with Red and, you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean. And at first, it's kind of an interesting change because I was like, oh, why are they changing blah blah blah? But, you know, it doesn't. At least they didn't completely just take it all out. Like, you know, I'm fine with it. Yeah. The more you go on it, you're just like, well, and not to mention, you know, I was the one I remember complaining about Universe of Energy, and then I feel like not far after that was the Red and Pirates. And so I started realizing my complaining really isn't getting me anywhere. So I'm just like, I either deal with it, don't write it, or whatever.
I think most people are happy with the Red change now that it's done, and they saw it and they appreciate it. When you go to Disneyland, they have a Red character walking around, a pirate. Whoa. Red. Yeah, which is awesome. You're like, hey, there's Pirate Red. I can get your picture. And she's rating characters. She doesn't understand what the camera is.
Oh my gosh, that's
she wants my wallet.
That is so cool. See, I always wonder, like, wouldn't that be interesting? Is that her real name? Are they call her that because of her hair color? Like, I need inquiring minds what I want. No,
I'm thinking it's a nickname. Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking.
True. Well, see, I've been watching a lot of Unsolved Mysteries lately because I discovered this new technology called Roku, and they have this whole channel that's for that. And so that I'm thinking, if I can ever have them on as a guest, the producers, I'm going to see if maybe they can launch into the whereabouts and the name origin of Red. And of course, they may have other more important things to do, but, you know,
like solving unsolved mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like actual like things that affect people in real life, but that's okay, you know, if there's a bonus time.
Well, did you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
No, I haven't. That's on Netflix, right?
Probably. Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
There's a Red in that show, and she has red hair, but I'm pretty sure that's a nickname also.
Well, yeah, and then I watched Young the Restless sometimes because my grandma watched it, and there was a lady with red hair, and you ain't gonna believe this, they called her as the nickname Red. So I'm beginning to think apparently that's just the thing to do.
Well, my wife has red hair. Maybe I should start calling her Red.
I'm sure she would love it.
I think that's how I would go up. Hey, Red, Go make me a sandwich. See how that goes over.
Yeah, I'm sure that will go over great. Well, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to tell her what you spent on your Funko Pops, but I can't guarantee you that the lady at the grocery store won't. So just preparing you.
Yeah, no kidding. How about the changes that happened? Do you ride Test Track? I've never ridden it.
Ooh, hey, I'm gonna go to Tristan's he just came back. You haven't lost any more teeth, have you? Okay. Oh, Tristan, come here a second. And have you rode both Test Tracks? See, I rode the first one. Sit down and talk.
I've only ridden one Test Track.
Which one, the new one or the old one?
The new one.
So you have never ridden the old one?
No, I have not.
Okay. So which one do you like better?
I guess the new one is the only one I've done.
You haven't ridden the old one.
What'd you say?
You haven't ridden the old one, so you probably like the new one better.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I've seen videos. It looks cool. Like some of it actually looks better, in my opinion.
You think the old one looks better from the videos you saw?
Yeah, from some parts.
Okay, I haven't ridden either one of them, but I think the new one looks cooler.
Yeah, I think the new one looks cooler, but I feel like the old one looks like it'd be more fun.
Okay. What are you gonna do with your tooth?
Put it under my pillow and hope for some money.
How much money are you expecting?
I'm hoping at least $2.
Okay, $2.
Now is that Canadian?
Funko Pops with that?
I want $5 American.
What's the exchange rate for currency for America and Canada?
It's about 80% right now.
Oof,
so 80 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
So yeah, so every time I go to I pay $1, I got to pay an extra 20 cents on every.
Man,
it used to be a quarter. It used to be 75 cents.
I know times have changed.
I'm telling you. I don't know if you smoke or not. I'm assuming you don't.
Oh no, smoking? No, I don't.
Okay, that's one of my favorite changes that ever happened is getting rid of the smoking sections in the park, especially at Magic Kingdom.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I know because since it doesn't affect me, I wasn't like So basically, they don't even have it anymore, right?
No, it's just outside the park at a designated area off to the side.
Because I went with someone years ago that did, and I remember going off a spot here and there, but then I never really paid attention. I wonder if this would be interesting, if the places where you used to be able to smoke are now also your mask-free zone. Wouldn't that be something over at Disney World?
well, the one in Magic Kingdom used to be that pathway that connected Fantasyland to Tomorrowland. It was a great little shortcut. And it is a great little shortcut. And it kind of goes sort of like along the railroad track.
I almost wonder if I could be wrong because, over the years, your memories change a little. But I feel like there was one kind of near Fantasy and Liberty Square area, maybe before there was the Tangled bathroom or just somewhere in that vicinity. I thought there was like a area to smoke.
And you don't think that they're smoking sections if you're not a smoker, but you just kind of happen upon them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, what with all the smoke? Oh, right. I'm in the smoking section. That's why.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
And I'm glad I don't have that anymore.
Because it hasn't really been that long, but I don't know exactly what year, you first started going to Disney. But so can you remember a time where they had zero alcohol at Magic Kingdom? And I'm not talking, I mean, they didn't have it in the restaurants.
Trying to think if there was any my first trip. I don't really drink much, so I wouldn't even been looking for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Be Our Guest was the first restaurant to have it, right?
Yeah, that was one. I know it's either that.
So Be Our Guest wasn't even built yet when I went the first time.
What was that?
Be Our Guest wasn't even built yet. My first.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the new Fantasyland and everything.
Yeah.
With that, so that's kind of cool. Is there any? I guess with the different parks, because how like there's Fantasyland, they're like, oh look, we're gonna make it bigger and better. The new Fantasyland extended. So is there any land that there already is, whether in any park of Disney World, whether it's Hollywood, Epcot, so on and so forth, Animal, you would love to see an expansion if you could?
Good question. You know what I always think, like Dino Land at US in Animal Kingdom. I love the theming.
I do
but
too.
It is kind of not much to do their land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Restaurantsaurus, which is kind of nice. But the theming is really, really, when you get into it and you start researching and looking at the story behind it, it's great. But
yeah, see, that's another thing that I love about Disney. There's so many details. There's hidden Mickeys. There's backstories. I didn't realize there was even a backstory to that until literally, like, I would say less than a year ago, that there was even a story to it. So it made it the next time I went in September, or this past September, like so exciting, because I'm like, this all makes sense to me now.
Yeah, like the Dino Institute and Chester and Hester owned the property, and they had this gas station, and they made it into a tourist area, and they brought in the fair and all. It's a huge, beautiful backstory, but still, the fair is horrible.
Yeah. Hey, do you wonder if that's why they did such an amazing backstory to kind of like, you're putting some peanut butter still on raisins? It's like we're trying to make this better.
Yeah, I think the backstory is better than the fair itself. You know what they should do? I know a lot of people are saying what? Zootopia. A lot of people are saying Black Panther. They should go with the original plan and do the mythical dragon theming. What do you think of that?
Ooh, I like that. So Tristan, if you had to choose between having Black Panther at Animal Kingdom, the Zootopia, or the mythical dragon,
Black Panther.
He's good. Well, he's seen that Marvel kick lately.
I'm really like a Marvel fan.
He's more Marvel.
More movies, but like.
See, I heard the rumor of Zootopia for a while, so I'd be kind of cool with that, and that would certainly fit.
Yeah. But they got the dragon in the carving still on the billboard when you first drive in. When you first walk in, they got the
Interesting.
dragon.
I have to pay attention. What was it going to be called again? Beastly Kingdom or something?
And it was actually the dragon head in the entrance.
Yes, what Stan just said. So
yeah,
wow.
Go with that. Put a Beastly Kingdom in there. Put dragon stuff.
Well, Tristan kind of pointed out
shooting fire.
Something interesting where he was like, think about Hollywood has gotten so much love over the past couple years. Epcot, they're starting to throw things in there. It still seems like I know Animal was a few years ago, but Magic Kingdom's getting a lot of the focus right now for the big anniversary. So which park do you think will probably get the next big attention, I guess, for maybe a new attraction or just a lot of the focus?
Oh, good question. What do you think? He said, are they gonna...
If I count this year, I would say Magic, just because of the big anniversary with Tron coming up, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, like they're kind of wrapping up Magic Kingdom changeover. They're head over, big time into Epcot.
Yeah,
Animal Kingdom just had Pandora not too long ago. Like, yeah,
I still feel like it's gonna, because and with the Epcot Forever Preview Center that they have over the Odyssey building, like it's a lot of changes. I know some has been scaled back because of the pandemic, but I kind of wonder almost if Animal's going to be the next, because they're kind of you're doing some Magic. You got your Epcot. I think Hollywood's good for a little while. And then I really feel like Animal's probably going to have to get something in.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they just did Pandora, but they got to do something with that.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I went. I don't remember if I went there in September. I think I did briefly, but maybe since then they've actually got rid of the ride. I know that Primeval Whirl, I think it was.
Yeah, that's pretty much closed now.
So I'm wondering though, is it just because when I went, there was no one on it. It was just sitting there, the structure. So I'm wondering if they're going to just dismantle it. Boy, they're going to put another booth up there for games.
Put a Ferris wheel or something. I don't know.
I know, right?
Anyways, Tim, so where can they find you on Sunday?
Well, 3 p.m. Florida time. Check me out. The best way I would say is check out facebook.com/WWMagicFlorida. Or if you have the TuneIn app, type OAK, OAK 93.5, Sundays, 3 p.m. And we'd love to have you. We'd love to everyone to come and hang out. We kind of nickname it as where the insiders come to hang out. And we really have had so many different insiders that have different pages and podcasts, and you get the latest breaking info and, people like yourself that we've loved to have on the show.
Yes, it's a fun show. It really is. You got all sorts of stuff going on. You give away no prizes for the quote of the day. And
yeah. Yes.
This has been fun. Any final thoughts there, Timmy?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the show, and I am also going to see what I can do about possibly trying to find someone with the legal name Rumpelstiltskin so that you would have to pronounce it.
You have to get Ken to book them.
Yes. And a shout out to Ken as well too. Hey, and we can't go wrong. Ken has 3 letters and TIM as well.
Oh, it's KEN, Ken.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said, Ken.
Oh, I thought you said Kim. I'm sorry. It's that accent.
Yeah, it's the accent. And my wife's name is Kim, so I guess we're gonna shorten your name to Sta.
It's been fun. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty. Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.